Operation Diadem had started at 11 o'clock on the night of the 11th of May 1944, with a massive artillery barrage along the Gustav Line from the Tyrrhenian Sea to the Apennines. The Fifth and Eighth Armies began simultaneous attacks. The Fifth Army's two corps assaulted ridges and high points between the sea and Castelforte, while the French Expeditionary Corps attacked into the mountains north of Castelforte to capture peaks rising up to 3,000 feet. On the Eighth Army's front, Britain's Fourth Infantry Division and the 8th Indian Division forded the Gari to create shallow beachheads west of the river. By dawn on the 12th of May, two tank-bearing bridges had been erected to support the Indian Division. On the Monte Cassino massif, two brigades of two Polish corps attacked along Phantom and Snakeshead ridges, but suffered heavy casualties and had to withdraw. Only the French secured most of their first-day objectives, but the Gustav Line had been penetrated. The Germans, surprised by the timing and location of the assault, had suffered heavy losses and lacked air cover. On 13 Corps' front, the priority of Britain's Fourth Infantry Division on the morning of the 13th of May was building a Bailey bridge over the Gari at the Amazon crossing point. Under fire and working in minefields, the Royal Engineers assembled the 80-foot bridge. It was pushed into place by a Sherman tank of the 17 21st Lancers. The job was completed at 5:30 in the morning of the 13th of May. A total of 83 engineers were killed or wounded building Amazon. A squadron of 17 21st Lancers was first over the bridge. It was followed by the 2nd Royal Fusiliers and the 6th Black Watch of 12th Brigade, 4th Division's reserve formation. After came tanks of the Lothian and Border Yeomanry. The Black Watch and Fusiliers immediately attacked to capture points 31 and 33. By noon, the Black Watch had reached Massa di Vivo and the Fusiliers were on point 41. That afternoon, 10 Brigades Duke of Cornwall's Light Infantry, working with 12 Brigades Royal West Kent, supported by the 17th 21st Lancers, took point 63. The Royal West Kents advanced 1,000 yards along the Pia Petto to Casa Petricone on a high point overlooking the stream. 2nd 4th Hampshire's 28th Brigade, under command of 12th Brigade, supported by tanks, advanced to point 33 on the road to St. Angelo and turned left to clear German positions west of the Gari. For his bravery in this attack, Captain Richard Wakeford was awarded the Victoria Cross. The Hampshires continued south to reach points 46 and 50, half a mile north of St. Angelo. By the end of the 13th of May, the 4th Division's bridgehead west of the Gari was a mile deep. Anti-tank guns crossed the river. Engineers worked on completing bridges at the Blackwater and Congo crossing points. On the 8th Indian Division front at noon on the 13th of May, the 1st 12th Frontier Force and the 1st 5th Gurkha Rifles, which had dug in south of St. Angelo di Theodice after a failed attack the previous day, withdrew to a safe distance. After a 5-minute bombardment of the town, 2 companies of Gurkhas dashed in. Canadian tanks smashed machine gun nests. By 1 o'clock in the afternoon, St. Angelo was captured. A German garrison north of the town quickly surrendered. This short battle, which dislodged the keystone of the Gari defences, cost the Gurkhas 129 casualties. To the south of St. Angelo, 6th 13 Frontier Force Rifles of 19 Brigade was free to move towards the high ground, barring the way to Panaccione. At 2 o'clock in the afternoon, with Canadian tank support, it captured the town, headquarters of the German 576 Grenadier Regiment. With the bridgehead west of the Gari and the flanks secure, 21 Brigade was brought up to capture Pignataro, the final Indian Division objective. On America's 2 Corps front on the 13th of May, the assault on the Gustav Line continued. On the far right, 350th Infantry Regiment, which had advanced into the Asante Creek Valley and attacked hills west of Castelforte on the 12th of May, launched its attack at 5 o'clock in the afternoon and quickly captured Monte Rotondo. In the centre, on the afternoon of the 13th of May, 3 battalions of 351 Infantry Regiment renewed the attack towards Santa Maria Infante and Tame, either side of the road to Santa Maria from Minturno. The assault was in combination with an attack by 2 battalions of 338 Infantry Regiment against strong points on the ridge running towards Soliciano, named S Ridge. Restricted by the terrain to attack on narrow fronts, the Americans were hit by heavy artillery and machine gun and mortar fire from Santa Maria and other high points. By the end of the 13th of May, the Americans had taken 2 high points on S Ridge, but these were the only results of another day of costly attacks. In 2 days of fighting, 351 Infantry Regiment, which had started with more than 2,500 men, had suffered 461 casualties. 338 Regiment had lost more than half its combat strength. But the Germans had been hammered. This was to lay the foundations for a sudden collapse of resistance in the 2 Corps sector on the 14th of May. The most dramatic progress of the day was in the French Expeditionary Corps sector. The 2nd Moroccan Division resumed its advance on the 13th of May and captured Monte Cassino. This split the German 71st Division and unhinged 14 Corps front, which ran from the sea to the Liri Valley. The 1st Motorized Division on the right continued the advance begun on the night of the 11th of May and captured Sant'Ambrogio, Sant'Apollinare, and La Guardia Hill by midnight on the 13th. Castelforte, which the 4th Regiment de Tirailleurs Tunisiens of the 3rd Algerian Division had entered on the battle's first day, was completely secured. To the far left, the French captured Monte Cassino as 2 Corps captured Monte Rotundo to clear the road from Castelforte to Careno. This set the scene for the Moroccan 4th Mountain Division to begin on the night of the 13th of May and advance through apparently impassable mountains across the Asante Valley to Esperia, 10 miles east of the Gustav Line. At noon on the 13th of May, Royal Irish Fusiliers Major Lawrence Franklin Novell was ordered to relocate from Fort McCulloch with his battalion to join the attack on the Gustav Line west of the Gari. At 9 o'clock that night, troop carrier vehicles arrived to transport the Royal Irish. They packed and prepared to move off at 5 o'clock in the morning of the 14th of May behind the 2nd London Irish Rifles and the 6th Royal Inniskilling Fusiliers, the other formations in 38 Irish Brigade, one of 3 in 78 Infantry Division. He was not to write to his wife Olive in the UK until the 16th of May.